morning students. Hope you all are fine and safe at home. Okay, then today we'll start with EVS part 2, standard 5. We have finished with the first lesson and the question and answers. I hope you all are writing it in your workbook and also completing your school notebook also. Today we'll start with the second lesson, history and the concept of time. Page number 6. Everyone, you have to take your textbooks out and also keep your pencil along with you, because if you find any word difficult, you have to write down the meaning. I'll start with the lesson. Division of time and the timeline. There are different methods of reckoning time. Reckoning time means to calculate time. There are different methods to calculate time. Time is continuous. See, we all know time is continuous. Does time wait for anyone? No. Time is continuous. But for our convenience, we divide it into periods. See, as time is continuous, we cannot stop it. What do we do? We divide time in different parts so that we can understand time very properly. The method that we use for reckoning time depends on our purpose for dividing it and the manner in which we do it. See, everyone has a different everyone divides the time in different methods on how they want the time to be divided, or on what purpose or for what thing they want to divide the time. For example, at sunrise we say it is morning now, the day has begun. See, whenever you say sunrise, you say that it is morning now and the day has begun. At sunset, we say it is evening now, soon it will be night. When the sun sets, what do we say? We say that it is evening now and soon it will be night. At the end of the day, it becomes dark. When the day is over, it becomes dark and it is night. This means that we divide the day into two parts, day and night. By this, what do we come to know? That we divide the time in two parts, that is the day and the night. Our earth rotates around its axis at a certain speed. See, our earth, you might have seen our earth rotates around the sun in a particular axis. Similarly, it revolves around the sun. The sun has its own light. We receive light from the sun. However, we see light only in daytimes. Nights are dark. How does this happen? See what has been told to you now, that the earth, I'll just show you now here. See, this is your sun and this is the axis, and here see, this is sun, and on this axis earth, it revolves around the sun. So the sun, it has its own light. This we all know, that sun, it has its own light, and only because of this light we can see day on earth. Only through this light we can see day on earth. And then you might be thinking that at night what happens then? As we say that sun, it never leaves its light. So at night what happens to the light? We'll just see in the next paragraph. As the earth rotates around its axis, that the part of its surface which turns towards the sun becomes bright. The part that moves away from the sun moves into darkness. The earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation around its axis. These 24 hours are approximately means correctly divided into 12 hours of daytime and 12 hours of night. A period of daytime and the following night together make one day. So see what has been said, that this earth, it also rotates around itself. It itself keeps rotating, and along with that it moves in this axis around the sun. So whenever which part is facing the sun, see now this part is facing the sun, so this area will see daytime, here it will be daytime, but this portion, this part which is not facing the sun, it will have night at that time. Why? Because all this sunlight, it is coming only till here, sunlight is reaching earth but only in this portion. So this portion which is not facing the sun, it will have night, and this is how you can see day and night together. And the period of the daytime and the following night together makes one day. See, when do we say that it is a day? When a day, starting from the day till the night, they both together make one day. 7 days from Monday to Sunday make 1 week. 2 weeks make a fortnight. 4 weeks make a month. 12 months make a year. In this manner, we reckon time in bigger and bigger units. Reckon means calculate. See what is being said that 7 days, Sunday to Monday, all these days together make 1 week. 2 weeks together make a fortnight, and 4 weeks together make a month, and 12 months together we count it as a year. And in this manner we can count time in bigger and more bigger units. 1 year is followed by the another one. See, 1 year is followed by the another. 2018, then 19, and now we are in 20. When 100 years go by, a century is completed. When 100 years are passed by, we say that a century is completed. When 10 centuries, that is 1000 years are gone, a millennium is completed. Such a method of dividing time is known as unilinear division of time. See, in this way of which we divide time, it is called as unilinear division of time. Now we'll see common era, or it is also called as Christian era. In the unilinear division of time, years that follow one after the other are arranged in serial order. In history books also, a chain of events that follow one after the other is presented in linear and serial manner. For this, usually we refer to common era, that is also called as Christian era, and it is written in short as CE or AD. AD means Anno Domini, which means in the year of our Lord. See, in this paragraph it is been said that common era, that is also a part of a unilinear division of that time which had been in the past, that is in many years ago. The calendar that we use today is based on the Christian era. The calendar that is present in all our houses, it is totally based on the Christian era, now called as common era. This era began in memory of Jesus Christ. This era began in the memory of Jesus Christ. The first year of this era is the year when it began. The first year of this era was when it began. It is shown with the number 1. The years that are indicated by the next numbers in serial order. The years that are coming next to it, it will be followed by 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. The first 100 years, that is first century of this era, is written as 1 to 100 CE or 1 to 100 AD. See what is being said now here, that the year started from 1, 2, 3, 4, it went on going and it is still on going now. So the era that had been happened between 1 to the 100th of the years, it is being written by 100 AD or 100 CE. Now we'll see the next page, page number 7. The period of the first millennium. Millennium is what? It means 1000 years. The first period of first millennium of this era was written as 1 to 1000 CE or 1-1000 AD. We'll see the next topic now, time before the common or Christian era. The period before the common era is known as the time before the common era. See, now we had seen the common era, but the time even before the common era, what is being said that it is being called as before common era, that is in the short form written as BCE, or the before Christ, that is also written as BC. The years of this period are counted and written in reverse orders. The first century before the common era began at the year 100 BCE and ended with 1 BC. See, when the common era started, we started with the number 1. But even before that also the earth was in existence and many living things also were there. So that is written in the opposite, that is they started with the counting from 100, 99, 98, reverse counting they started. Similarly, the first millennium before the common era began at the year 1000 BCE and ended with the year 1 BC. See what is being said here now, that when we started the common era, we started counting from 1. But before 1, even the world was there, the earth was existing even before the common era. So that counting started in reverse manner from 1000, then 999, 998, in reverse counting they started it. So the first century between the common era is indicated as 100 to 1 BCE, and the first millennium before the common era is indicated as 1000 to 1 BCE. Let us look at some examples of this method of indicating time before the common or Christian era. The lifetime of Vardhaman Mahavir is written as 599 BC to 527 BC. The lifetime of Gautama Buddha is written as 563 BC to 483 BC. See now what is being told now here. See, you can see, I hope you all are paying attention wherever I am reading. What is being said now here, that the lifetime of Vardhaman Mahavir, it is been written as 599 BC to 527 BC. BC means even the before the common era. If it was in common era, then how could we do the counting? We could do counting in the straight numbers, that is 527 to 599. But this, you can see, it is a reverse counting. You have started the counting from the higher number to lower number. So this is how it is written in the era that is being occurred before the common era. See, you can also see here. You can see here between in the lower part of the page, you can see common era, how the numbers are written in the common era and how the numbers are written in the era that is before the common era. See, from between you can see they have started now here from 100, 500, 1000. They are going on in the correct counting which we do, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. But in the before common era, what they have done, they have started with 100, then 500, then 1000, 2000. They have gone into the reverse counting. Next topic we will see as measurement of time and the methods of measuring time. In this we will see the measurement of time, how it is done, and the methods of measuring time. To measure time, it is to measure the length of the time. We know the following units of measuring time, that is the second, minute, hour, day, week, fortnight, month, year, century and millennium. These all are the measurements that are used to measure the length of the time. A second is the smallest of all these units. There are various methods of measuring time in different parts of the world. Of these, the common and the Christian era is the most widely used. See, everywhere there are some people like to use different types of measurements to measure time, but mostly This type of measuring is used everywhere. We generally indicate a particular day by writing the date of that day. See, whenever we have to say about a particular day, what do? We use the date to speak about that day. The date consists of the serial number of that day followed by the name of the serial number of the correct month and then the serial number of the correct year. See, whenever you write a date, what do you write? You write the date of that particular day. Then what do? You write the month. This you write the month and then followed by the year. This is how you write the date. So this helps the person or the people to know about exactly which day you are talking about. There are other methods too. Besides this, there are also many methods used. We have seen that Christian era began in the memory of Jesus Christ. Christian era, it began in the memory of Jesus Christ. It is an age-old custom to start a new era to commemorate. Commemorate means to recall a special event. For an example, the coronation of a great king. We know that Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj had started a new era or Shakha known as Rajabhishek Shakha in 1674 AD to recommemorate his coronation. We'll see the next page and I'll explain you then. Page number 8. So what is being said now here, that not only this date but there are even different more methods used to speak about a particular event that has been done in the past. For this, what has been used, that Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj has started a new era or also known as Shakha, which is called as Rajabhishek Shakha in 1674 AD to celebrate his coronation. Shalivahan Shakha and Vikram Samvat are two eras that are used in India. The founder of Islam, Prophet Muhammad, migrated from Mecca to Medina. The Hijri era was started to commemorate this event. The Parsi community in India uses the Shahanshahi era. See, what do we come to know about this? That different caste of people use different types of era for their counting or to celebrate a particular day. Next is historical periods. We learnt in the first lesson that history is a science that tells us about the events that have happened in the past. See, in the last chapter, what have we studied? We have studied that that history, it is a science that tells us about what have been happened in the past. We also learned that every bygone movement makes up the past. Bygone, two words. Bygone, that means that has already been done or that have already been gone. The past is the subject matter of history. In a broad sense, the period of history goes back to the time of birth of our solar system. See, in the broad sense, that in a much more understanding way, what can we say, that the period of history, it goes back from the very beginning of from where our solar system has started. Our solar system came into being about 4.5 billion years ago. Our Earth is a planet in the solar system. So it is presumed that Earth was also formed 4.5 billion years ago. Presumed means it is already assumed that our solar system came into being literally 4.5 billion years ago. So what do people also assume? People also assume that our Earth, it has also been come into exist for about 4.5 billion years ago. The span or the time period of 4.5 billion years since the Earth formation is a vast period of time. It is a very big period of time. It is not easy to grasp this entire period at all once, and it is not possible for us to study or to look into this whole period at once. It is necessary to divide it into a number of stages in order to understand it better. So for our convenience, we have divided that period into many parts. Therefore, the time in history is divided into two main periods, that is prehistoric period and the historic period. For this, mainly the two parts in which history is divided is the prehistoric period and the historic period. First is the prehistoric period. Prehistory simply means before history. So the prehistoric period is the period from which no written records are available by which the history is written. See, prehistory means even the time before history. It is a time in which we were not able to find any records or any written records for our history. And the historic period, it is the historic period is a period from which written records are available using which we can write the history. So now next topic, scientific methods of measuring time and establishing age. We are actually measuring time when we talk about today's date or day or the week, etc. See, whenever we are measuring time, we are actually talking about a particular day or a date. We have seen that there are various methods of measuring time. These methods allow us to identify a particular day, month or year with respect to an earlier or later day, month or year. For example, if it is June, then we know that the earlier month was May and the next one will be July. If today it is the 10th of June, then we can tell that tomorrow it will be 11th of the June and yesterday was 9th of the June. Thus, when we measure the time, we actually measure its length. What is being said now here that whenever you measure the time or whenever you speak about the time, you are actually measuring the length of the time. The events before the beginning of the Common Era are mentioned as having occurred before the Common Era. Information about some of these events can only be obtained with the help of the evidence buried under the ground. Now, the things or the events that have already been taken place even before the Common Era, so how can we know about them or how can we know about their history? By all the materials that have been buried into the soil. Now we'll see the next page, page number 9. This evidence is usually in the form of broken man-made artifacts and fallen structure. With the help of these remains and using scientific methods, we can determine the time of the events that took place thousands of years ago. See what we had seen that what all the things are got buried into the soil. That is the broken man-made artificials or the fallen structures or even the remains of some structures. By studying all this, we come to know about the time or the not exactly but time when that event might have been taken place or how many years before it had been taken place. There are many layers of soil deposited one above the other under the surface of the ground. The period of these layers and the remains found in them cannot be stated definitely in terms of dates. See, whenever people study history, what all the things that they get from the ground or that has been gone deep into the soil, they cannot say the exact date or the exact time when it had been buried into the soil, but they roughly find out a time or a date on which date it might have been buried into the soil. However, a rough estimate of how many years ago they existed can certainly be made using scientific methods. See, as I have told you that they cannot tell the exact date and time when the event had been taken place, but they roughly make an estimate about how many years ago it had been taken place. And which method do they use to do so? They use carbon-14 analysis, tree rings analysis, that is dendrochronology, etc. These methods are known as dating techniques. These are the different methods that are being used to understand science even more better, and also which help the scientists to make an estimate, a roughly date. They make a roughly date out of it, on which date might be the event might have been taken place. By using these dating techniques, we learn how old the layers of soil and the remains found in them are. By using all these methods, all these techniques, scientists come to a conclusion how many years before or on what date roughly these events might have been taken place. Then we can determine their period approximately. For example, if an earthen pot is estimated to be 5,000 years ago old with the help of the dating techniques, we can say that the earthen pot dates back roughly to 3000 BC. Then we can conclude that the period of the culture to which the pot belongs must be around 3000 BC. See, if the scientists are able to find out that how many years before that earthen pot was there, so they can also find out the year in which it was in exist. Okay, so now we have finished with the lesson and the question and answers, all which are given on to you on page number 9 and also on page number 10. I think mostly it will be on page number 9. All these question and answers will be provided to you in the end of this video. You have to complete your notebook and also your workbook.